Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton on the show. Good morning.
Hey, Sam. I'm great. I hope you are too.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm wide awoke.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, you say one of us, huh? Oh yeah. We first of all, welcome to the show. I just want to point out to everybody, early voting already started. We talked with the president last week, and we're encouraging you to early vote. 5 million have taken advantage of their early voting right now, and today we're going to chat with Madam Secretary Clinton, and I want to talk about the economy. On when you get in office, your plans to make this economy even better.
Oh, Sam, thanks a lot, and thanks for reminding everybody who's listening to get out and vote. Early voting, as you said. Look, I think we've got to build on the progress we've made under President Obama, and I know he was on your show last week, and I think everybody, just should remember the mess he inherited, the threat of a Great Depression, which his leadership helped us to avoid. We dug ourselves out of the big hole that we were in when he became president. Now we've got to really get energized and do everything we can to create more jobs with rising incomes. And I want to get the economy working for everybody, not just those at the top. So that's why I've said we need the biggest jobs program since World War II. Infrastructure jobs, you can use those in Ohio, roads and bridges and tunnels and ports and airports, and so much work to be done with water systems to make them safe and up to date. And those are good jobs. They can't be exported. People have to do them right here at home. And we're going to push for advanced manufacturing, the kind of high-wage jobs with precision machining and 3D printing that folks can get. I've been in the past at Cuyahoga Community College. I want to expand community colleges, make them affordable and available to everybody who needs to get some extra training to get these jobs of the future. And we're going to do a lot in clean energy. I'm excited about what we can do there. There are a lot of states that are forging ahead, and I want the whole nation to do that. And I want to support small business, and particularly minority-owned small business, because that is the pathway to autonomy and success in communities across our country. But we also have to make the economy fairer. So, I've said, look, let's raise the national minimum wage. It is past time, and let's finally guarantee equal pay for women's work, which will help everybody. It's not just a woman's issue. This is also a family issue. If you've got a mom or a wife or a daughter or sister working, it's your issue. So I've laid out some very specific economic plans, and I've also said education has to be a part of it. So I want early childhood education. I want our schools to, be the best we can be, partnering with our educators, and I want us to make college affordable, which for me means if your family makes less than $125,000 a year, I want it so you can go tuition-free to a public college or university. And I have a special fund for historically black colleges and universities because they do such a great job training leaders for our country, and we're going to help you pay back your debt. So if you combine all of that together, there's a lot in there to help us keep building on the economic progress that we made over the last 8 years.
Absolutely. I want to talk about real quick here. What are your thoughts when you hear Donald Trump make comments like he won't accept the results if you were to win?
It's horrifying. It is something that nobody has ever done before, Sam. We can be disagreeable with each other on issues without threatening our democracy. And he has threatened our democracy by saying that he, will only accept the results of the election if he wins. That is horrifying. And so I'm hoping that everybody, no matter what the issue is you care about, turns out and votes and repudiates that kind of attack on our fundamental institutions. We've got a lot of work to do in our country, and I know you went over some of that when you talked to the president last week. And, it was exciting to hear him just briefly say, we saved the economy from a Great Depression, and, hey, we saved the auto industry, and we got the Affordable Care Act, and all the things that he accomplished. Well, you know what? you have one president at a time, and you're supposed to do everything you can to respect and work with that president. And Donald Trump was behind continuing the racist lie about the president's birth not being in the United States. Yeah. Now, it's not just that he has attacked and denigrated our president, as well as women and African Americans and Latinos and POWs and Muslims and just about everybody else. Yeah. He's now attacking our democracy.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts here about the Alfred E. Smith dinner? Now, I know it's a charity. I know we do the jokes, but do you think he went a little bit too far? I saw some times when you hit the smirk and you kept you cool, you kept you calm. Do you think he went a little bit too far?
Well, I think the people there sure did, because they expressed their disapproval during his presentation. I've been to that event before, and it is an opportunity to raise millions of dollars for worthy causes, particularly for inner city kids. And so the purpose of it is to have an evening of fun, some gentle jabs and some jokes at each other's expense, including ones about yourself. Mm-hmm. And he just went over too far, and I think that was why people reacted so strongly.
The pacing back and forth while during the debates, while you're speaking, and I know it's a debate, we get a little tension, but I've never seen someone running and actually, while someone's responding, walking in circles. How did you feel? Where you're getting your thoughts together, and here it is. Donald was like, okay, I'm just going to be real, like my 7-year-old son.
Well, I think you're right, because I think he wanted to distract me or intimidate me. I don't really know what was going through his head, but it was as you describe, unusual. I've now debated, or I've been on the debate stage with Donald Trump 4.5 hours, and I got to tell you, if there were any questions about my stamina, I think that put them to rest, because going up against somebody who will say anything, who, as you said in the second debate, just was walking in circles, lurking behind me. It took a lot of concentration. Thankfully, we did well, and I think people saw him for who he is, and now everybody just has to get out to vote in order to make it clear that that's not what we believe in our country. That's not the kind of leadership we want.
Lastly, your thoughts on us bridging the gap between African American men, African Americans, period, with the police, especially unarmed African Americans.
Sam, I think this is one of the biggest challenges we face. I was in North Carolina yesterday with some of the mothers who are in the mothers of the movement, who've lost their children either to police incidents or to gun violence, the epidemic of gun violence that we face. And I am committed to doing whatever I can to try to bring the police and communities together to rebuild the bonds of trust. We're going to have to do some work on police training. There has to be, I think, national standards about the use of lethal force. People need to learn how to de-escalate situations. There has to be many more positive interactions between communities and the police. I believe everybody is safer when the police respect the communities they serve and when the communities respect the police who protect them. So we've got work to do, but I know there are so many people in the police, in communities, who want to see us move toward better understanding and greater trust. So that's going to be one of my highest priorities as president, because there's nothing more important than healing the divides that exist in our society.
Yeah, I have family members who are police officers and I have friends, and I've known people, myself have had a situation with the police incident, and it made me feel some type of way. But we can.
But Sam, you said something very important, because police officers are our families. our
Right.
friends.
Right.
They're members of our churches. They are members of our, community activities. And I think it's important for everybody to put themselves in the other person's shoe. I know a lot of African American parents have to have what's called the talk with their kids, and tell them they've got to be, really alert when they're out and be, very respectful to police. They don't want anything to happen to them.
Right.
But I also know that police leave their families, and the families, are nervous every day they're gone. So we've got groups of people who should be able to recognize the anxiety in the other and figure out ways we're going to resolve that. So I thank you for mentioning it from both sides, your own experience and the fact that, you have police officers in your family.
We was only supposed to have 5 minutes, guys, because she's very busy, but she gave us about 12 or 13. Thank you so much for calling the Sam Sylk Show. We appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Sam, and I hope everybody gets out and votes. You can vote early every day of the week. And, hey, if you don't know where you're supposed to vote, you can go to iwillvote.com or you can go to hillaryclinton.com, votes, for Ohio votes early, and that'll tell you where to go. And we've got to get people turning out. That's the most important thing we can do.
All right. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Good to talk to you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.